Our ongoing Purdue starting lineup speculation continues here, this time informed by what everybody saw in the gold versus black Purdue scrimmage session over the weekend. Three scrimmages in Mackey Arena after the Fan Fest. Everybody got to get real eyes on this team. We had a big video breaking down everything we saw yesterday, like 38 minutes of reaction to all things that happened in the scrimmage. A lot of good. Really don't have a negative word to say about any of it. Maybe you have questions on roles, but outside of that, everybody on this team looks good, deep, talented. Paint's got rotation questions to answer for sure because everybody on this team belongs on the basketball court in some form. Our guy, Brian Newbert, who has, I think, kind of spearheaded the coverage of what to expect for Purdue's rotation all offseason. I think he's been kind of on the forefront of a lot of various things to keep an eye on. He's been on the forefront of Jakari Harris being a breakout guy, having the inside track to the starting shooting guard spot. Jakari Harris just led the team in scoring in the scrimmage. So it's hard to question anything that Newbert brings to the table right now, even though we've done that a lot at points this offseason. We look foolish for doing so right now. In his latest write-up over the weekend, Newbert had more thoughts on the rotation. And I think there's a little bit of a moment of clarity, a minor breakthrough, I would call it, in something that he wrote. I'm just going to read it word for word. Newbert wrote, Purdue has at least 7 starters, in my opinion. And that competition and depth matters just as much in practice as in the games. Look at it this way. If you're obsessing over starting lineups, view Clough and Jacobson as one all Big Ten level producer and look at Cox and Harris the same way. That's the end of the excerpt. So, by my math, Purdue has 7 starters, 7 starter level players. He names Clough, Jacobson, Cox, and Harris. That's 4. You obviously have the big 3, Braden Fletcher and TKR alongside them. Nothing earth-shattering with this. I think any reasonable mind could watch the scrimmages this weekend and tell you that's the top 7 guys on Purdue. But I do recall previous points in the offseason when Newbert alluded to the fact that there were more than 7 guys that could factor into the starting lineup. So, and it's not just Newbert, by the way. Like we have heard promotion or speculation that Antoine West is in the mix for the spot. Your guy, Omer Meyer, has obviously been speculated as in the mix for the spot. So I think at minimum, this update from Newbert after everything he saw this weekend feels like we are whittling down the shooting guard battle a little bit. Maybe we've gone in a week from it's an open competition between 4 guys to Cox and Harris are battling it out. 2 starter level guys for one spot. Jacobson and Clough at center doing the same. Am I interpreting this correctly?
So the 7 would be the big 3, Clough, Jacobson, Harris, Omer, Cox.
Harris and Cox.
So not Omer.
Not Omer, which I did you listen to any of the recap we did of the scrimmage stuff?
I did. I did.
So let me give you like just the TLDR just in case. Omer was opposite Braden the whole time playing point guard. There's debate over whether that was intentional from the staff or whether it just shook out that way. I think it's really naive to be like it shook out that way. If Paint wanted to see Omer and Braden together in one of these, he would have told his assistants to make it happen. They didn't. I also will say, we covered this at length, as much as I love Omer, who I thought was sensational as a playmaker in this, Cox and Harris were the 2 leading scorers.
Yeah.
Cox and Harris at this point are way ahead of Omer defensively. They are filling it up from a 3-and-D standpoint. It is hard to knock the fit and the level of play those 2 are producing at right now. I think if we're just being real and accurate in the way we're assessing this, Omer's not in consideration for a starting spot right now.
That's why I would go with 8 starters. Like I think I'm good with the 7, but like Omer's a starting caliber player too. He just happens to be behind the best player in college basketball. I think that would be the angle I would go at it. But yeah, I don't think it's a crazy quote. I mean, obviously, Jakari, was it only 20 or did he have 30?
Jakari had 20, CJ had 15, I want to say, and then everybody else had 14 or less.
Honestly, I watched the scrimmage. I'd make an argument Daniel Jacobson's probably not a starter. Oh, like I could see the Harris and Cox thing. I'd make it if we're gonna do it and we're not gonna include Omer. I think I'd make an argument it's only six.
I think that's fair. I don't think center's a battle right now.
No, I mean Clough cooked him. Like I'm at any moment Clough lowered his shoulder into Jacobson. Jacobson was in the second row every single time Clough wanted to do it, and then it was a layup. And I love I love actually let me say this. I love the idea of Daniel Jacobson's game. I think I'm yet to fully see it on the court in the manner that like blows me away. But the idea of the 7'4" guy who can stretch the floor, he can block shots. Like I love the idea of Daniel Jacobson. I think the idea of Daniel Jacobson is maybe one of the best centers in college basketball, but what we saw in that scrimmage was like a little ways away from that.
Jacobson had the only block in the scrimmage. I do think his rim protection is going to be important, but I like where you're going with this train of thought. If we're having the conversation or just saying the sentence, Purdue has 7 starters. Here's the twist I would put on this. There's 2 different ways you could talk Purdue starters. Guys that are capable of playing at a starting level, or guys that are actually in the mix to start. If it's guys that are actually in the mix to start right now, you're right. Jacobson's not. It's 6. Jacobson, I think we would all be absolutely shocked if Jacobson started over Clough based on everything we're hearing and seeing. It's not a competition in my mind. Clough's the starting center. Jacobson's the backup center to start the season. At shooting guard, it is very much still a competition. It is Cox and Harris, and Omer is working at a different position right now, and West is behind. So, like West's competition is him versus his red shirt. Omer's competition is him versus Braden. Cox and Harris are competing with each other to start at shooting guard. So, I think that's the direction Newber is trying to say. He's trying to say who is in the mix to start. Dion, you okay? You look a little sweaty.
So every August, September, my air conditioning breaks and there's just nothing I can do about it.
Dude, that's tough. Out in California too. Like, I mean, what is it, like 80 degrees still there today?
Today's gonna be like 85, 90, but like peak summer, it gets like 110. My AC just doesn't ever hold up.
I mean, it sounds like it's a bummer that you can't take advantage of Duncan Mechanical Solutions, because Duncan Mechanical Solutions is an HVAC company based in Angola, servicing the tri-state area, bringing commercial quality to the residential world with excellent customer service. You heard us talk about Duncan Mechanical last summer. If you need heating or air conditioning, kitchen or bath remodeling, or all of the above, Duncan Mechanical is the place to go in the Midwest. Go to DuncanMechanicalSolutions.com to take advantage and make sure you don't wind up like Dion. To me, that's 6, not 7. Take Jacobson out of it. On the flip, if we're doing guys that are good enough to start somewhere, put Jacobson in it, put Omer Meyer in it. Shit, Liam Murphy would start on some Big Ten teams. He really would. He's a vet that is 6'9", that shoots the piss out of the ball. I think Jack Benter would probably in the mix to start on teams. Now this is all a little disingenuous because that's not how basketball works.
Yeah.
But if we're just talking like how good are the players on this team, there's probably 11 guys that are Big Ten starter caliber. It's just you're competing with Brandon, so you're not now, right? I think Newber was doing the opposite. That's what he's alluding to with 7. Otherwise, you're right. I think Omer and many other guys would be in the mix too.
Yeah, yeah, it's like you said. Like I think it'd be 6. If the argument is Omer won't start over Braden, I'm not trying to take away from Braden or hype up Omer with this comment. I thought Omer went at Braden way better than Jacobson went at Clough.
Right.
Not that Omer would ever start over Braden, but if we're just talking about those specific matchups, like Omer was able to get to Braden more than Jacobson was able to get to Clough. Like I think Jacobson's equally as far away from starting over Clough as Omer is Braden. I think there's 4 starting roles on this team that are cemented, and then there's one that's up for grabs with 2 people. And if we're going to make an argument that it's 7, I think Overmeyer is a hell of a lot closer to starting over Jakari Harris and CJ Cox than Daniel Jacobson is over starting over Oscar Clough.
I disagree there. I know you're Omer's biggest fan. I'm honestly disheartened that you've been capable of taking that mantle from me this offseason. I really wanted to be Omer's biggest fan, but I can't keep up with you. It's like you just keep running, man. Like I'll run 3 miles and you're like, I'm gonna do a half marathon tonight after work. And I'm like, Doug, how much Omer can we really run today? And you just have an endless motor when it comes to Omer Meyer. I love him. He's just not, I don't think it's not on the table right now. And it shouldn't be for all the reasons I laid out. Hopefully, as his fan, hopefully that might change. But also, I think if you're a Purdue fan, you're not even hoping it changes, right? Like you're hoping Cox and Harris are just awesome. And right now they look awesome.
I think if here's my argument for Omer in that conversation and Jacobson not in the Clough conversation. If I told you in February Omer's starting over Cox and Harris, I think there's a world those two don't hit. That's my only argument. I think there's a world those two don't hit. If I told you Jacobson's starting in February, my assumption is Oscar Clough got hurt.
But I think number one, I actually don't think that's going to happen based on what I've seen. I
Yeah,
hear you. Number two, I think that would be bad. Like
no,
for Purdue, it would be bad.
yeah, I agree with that. I just think there like there is like if Jakari Harris and CJ Cox do what they did last year, which isn't a bad player by any means, but like I think Omer can compete with that more so than Jacobson can compete with Clough from last year.
That's true. That's very true. Um, how many starters do we have at Sleepers Media?
We're including production in this.
Yeah, we like I think our full roster is you, me, Carter, producer JK, Riley Davis, Tanner McGrath, J Man, Ryan Hammer, Jay Hart, part-time socials guy, backup producer, Booby, supposedly full-time socials guy. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I'm missing that I would currently consider. Like Guy is kind of like on a two-way right now. We sent him out to college and he's doing like Guy is still one phone call away. I would say he's part of the organization.
Yeah.
That's probably it for right now. I think that's 12 guys on the roster. How many starters do we have?
Guy's one of those draft and stash guys from like the early 2000s where it's like,
Yeah.
yo, you go to Europe, we'll call you in a few years.
Yeah.
And I love that for him. He's our Ricky Rubio.
He might be
Um,
our Omer. Like Guy might be good enough to start, but like you're just not the situation doesn't call for it right now. Let's give it a year.
yeah, we got to go with CJ Cox, unfortunately.
That's crazy. That's not what I said, to be clear. That's crazy.
just, uh, I think we have a lot of bullpen guys. I think we have a lot of, I don't think anybody could do a bullpen game better than us. Like, I don't think anybody could do like, what's that thing in baseball where you start the bullpen guy, they only go for an inning, and then you go to the next bullpen guy and you just keep doing that?
Yeah, the AJ Hinch special. We were great at that last year. Yeah. I think you're
Yeah.
right. We basically just do a draft to Palooza and fire guys off. Yeah, I think we have one starter. I think it's Jacob.
JK is special. JK's at might be JK's best year, by the way. Like JK's killed 25.
I think Karabatsos is our starter. I don't think we have another one. I think our including myself, me and Carter are too fluky. We just disappear for days at a time. So you would probably be the next closest starter. I don't know. Do you think you deserve starter mention on our organization?
I think like I think I'm a high end prospect. I think we have some kinks to work out here and there. I don't want to call myself a starter because like we're not far removed from the Ralph Scott 327 video. That Cart and I just have to own.
That was tough. That was a tough look. All right, so we aren't as good as Purdue is the takeaway here. Pretty hard organization to keep up with.
Can I compare us to a Big Ten team though?
Oh no.
You can't tell me we're not Illinois.
Who give me the player comps?
I think I think we just have a lot of dudes, right? Like Guy is Keaton Wagner.
It feels like you and Carter the Aviciches.
Oh, for sure.
And then like I might be Kylan. Jacobs probably Stojakovic because they both wear the same size shorts.
Riley's Mirkovich.
And then everybody else on our team is the guys that aren't eligible.
And we're just floating people in and out based upon what the NCAA says.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good comp. That's a good comp. Sixth in Ken Farm. We're probably the sixth best college basketball media outlet too. That tracks.